Hi, tonight we're going to talk about limited mind. Our mind is limited in a reality that is not limited. So we need to go beyond the walls that limits our reality. The mind is consciousness that has moved to a place with limitations. So we think we are the mind. We think we have limitations, but we are unrestricted, pure consciousness that is unbounded. We are not bound by physical laws because we are pure consciousness with a mind and body, so we can change our reality. We can vibrate out of our problems and restrictions as we expand in awareness. When we realize that there are other dimensions, we are not limited by our problems, shortcomings, and even death. We have been conditioned by our mind that objectifies our consciousness. But the mental veil is becoming less dense, so we begin to understand the deeper awareness. We realize that we are not the doer and become liberated from frustration and anger. Khalil Gibran said, "When you reach the end of what you should know, you will be at the beginning of what you should sense." Yogananda said, "From the astral world we come at birth, and there we shall return at death." Someone asked me why we should try to connect with the astral world now. To this I reply, because that is where you will realize the freedom of your true nature. You were there as a soul, cloaked in an astral form to start with. And because you are not there now and have lost that memory is why all your misery persists. By entering that other world, we learn the causes of all our suffering and diseases. We discover the secret of our existence, what happens after death and where we are before death, birth, and how to live in the material world without losing our divine connection. In science, our divine connection is called going quantum, because you unite with the energy of everyone, everything, everywhere, at any time. Quantum is a unified field of all potentials, where we can become aware of a potential quantum that already exists and connect with that field of energy. This energy then collapses into particles called a quantum event and becomes a future experience for us on the physical plane. This understanding is deeper than knowledge, as it is a spiritual experience that expands our knowledge so we grow and find peace. That is why it is important to go alone, without a book, and just sit under a tree or on the beach. Observe the tree, listen to the waves, and watch your thoughts come and go like birds, flying across the sky. This is meditation. So you don't want to grab a thought and stop the flow. That will lead you to extraordinary experiences. The flow leads you there. Osho said, "It takes a little time to create a gap between the witness and the mind. Once the gap is there, you are in for a great surprise, that you are not the mind. You are the witness, a watcher." Alan Watts said, "To have faith is to trust yourself to the water. When you swim, you don't grab hold of the water, because if you do, you will sink and drown. Instead, you relax and float." Yogananda said, "Live quietly in the moment and see the beauty of all before you. The future will take care of itself." We slow down our evolving to a higher dimension by analyzing everything with our mind. So we live there and do not experience the spirit or consciousness. We need the spiritual experience beyond the mind in consciousness to expand our awareness to bliss. The spiritual experience is freedom from the limits of our mind, because we observe our thoughts, realizing we have a mind. But we are not a mind with consciousness. We are consciousness or spirit with a mind and body to function on the physical plane. We are beyond the thought process because we are observing the thoughts, so we're not the mind, not the thinker. To do this, we pull back the veil and experience reality, the subtle consciousness that is not negative, our true self. This process is not about our thoughts or our mind, but experiencing the subtle energy of consciousness that permeates it and is beyond our mind. The Egyptian Book of the Dead says, "All things are possible. Who you are is limited by who you think you are." Nikola Tesla said, "It is hard to give unlimited power to a limited mind." Alan Watts said, "By replacing fear of the unknown with curiosity, we open ourselves to an infinite stream of possibility." We can let fear rule our lives, or we can become childlike with curiosity, pushing our boundaries, leaping out of our comfort zones, and accepting what life puts before us. All we need is a quiet mind, and the universal consciousness will make it happen. We don't do anything. The sun rises, and we can see and become active. This is what awareness does for our mind. When we are at peace in the mind, awareness awakens us up with light, enlightenment, to perform welcome events that surprise us without any effort. The universal consciousness responds to our peace from beyond the mind. It understands the rate of our vibration and responds with waves of light that an agitated mind cannot absorb. Therefore, we need to calm and open our mind with joy, love and joy to attract the vibration that raises our mind even higher. It is like tuning into a radio station that gives us the energy we want in our life. Osho said, "You are not to do anything to be happy. In fact, you have done too much to become unhappy. If you want to be unhappy, do too much. If you want to be happy, allow things to be. Rest, relax, and be in a let go. Let go is the secret of life. When you are in a let go, many things, millions of things, start happening. They were already happening, but you were never aware." Maharaj said, "From the point of view of self-realization or enlightenment, there are no individuals. The self, or God, exists as all manifestations. As our spiritual knowledge grows, our identification with the individual body, mind dimensions, and our consciousness expands into universal consciousness. The life force continues to act, but its thoughts and actions are no longer limited to an individual. They become the total manifestation." Thank you.